Hey mama, do you ever feel like you're living a double life? On the outside, you look like you've got it together. You smile at drop-off, you serve at church, maybe even lead a Bible study. But at home, it's a whole different story. Your reactions scare you. You explode yelling, screaming, maybe even grabbing your kids too hard or spanking in anger. And then you sit alone afterwards, drowning in shame and whispering, God, what is wrong with me? Your kids ask you, Mom, why are you always so angry? Your husband steps in to diffuse the chaos. You see the fear in their eyes, and you think, this is not the mom I want to be. This is not the legacy I want to leave. And maybe, Mama, you're just sick and tired of it. Sick of drowning in shame. Sick of hating the mom that you become. Deep down, you know you're ready, like 12 out of 10 ready to finally transform motherhood, to become the calm and stable presence in your home, to treat your kids with Christ-like kindness, and create a bond of connection so strong that when they grow up, they remember you as a safe, loving, joyful mom they always needed. If that is you, you are not beyond hope. You are not broken beyond repair. And this week is your chance to take the next step towards healing. Enrollment is open for my Calm Christian Mom Coaching Program, a 12-week transformation journey where I walk alongside you to break free from this cycle. Together, we will dive deep to uncover your triggers, calm your nervous system, shift your mindset, and invite God into every layer of your healing. And this week only, if you enroll by September 20th, you will get some amazing bonuses. A 90-day follow-up call after you graduate to make sure you are staying on track. A care package delivered to your home to support you on this journey. And the biggest bonus, 2 additional weeks of group coaching and private Boxer access to me for real-time support. Mama, you have absolutely nothing to lose. The program even comes with a 100% money-back guarantee if you do not see results by week 12. This is your chance to say yes to yourself, to your kids, and to your family, and to the peaceful home that you've been praying for. Click the link in the show notes to learn more about the Calm Christian Mom Coaching Program and book your free consultation call. We will talk through your situation, and if this program is the right next step for you, I will invite you in. You don't have to stay stuck. Change is possible, and it starts right now. This is probably one of my favorite episodes, and the reason is when I was re-listening to all the testimonials as I was putting this episode together, I was just filled with so much gratitude. Gratitude to God that He led me to this through my own struggles, and just such gratitude that these women have experienced such positive changes in their life. Literally, their legacies are changing. They came into the coaching program feeling lost, confused, and hopeless in their anger struggle and came out with a transformation, and their life forever changed, and their children's lives forever changed, and they have the tools that they need moving forward to set a positive example for their family. I am just so excited for you to listen to this episode. Mom after mom after mom shares her testimony about coming into the coaching program, feeling so defeated, filled with shame and remorse, and coming out of the coaching program feeling empowered and proud of the way that she handles anger in a God-honoring way. For most of these moms, the circumstances did not change, but God transformed them, and they were able to change the way that they handle the circumstances and able to look back at them and be proud of the way that they handled it in a God-honoring way. All right, listen in.
Hi, I am Brittany. I am a mom of 4 beautiful girls, triplet 11-year-olds and a 9-year-old, and I have been married for almost 15 years. I took Elizabeth's Calm Christian Mom course fall of 2023, and it has changed my life, and it has changed the lives for my daughters. It has changed my marriage, and it is affecting change for generations to come. I have battled anger my whole life, And it is a generational curse on my family, on the women in my family specifically. I have personally witnessed it destroy relationships for both my aunt and my grandmother. I've seen it tear apart multiple marriages. I've seen it destroy relationships between grandmothers and their grandchildren, aunts and their nieces, mothers and their children. It's created so much destruction. And I didn't want that to be my story, and I didn't want that to be the story for my marriage or for my daughters. And I didn't want this to be a battle that they had to fight. So I knew that I had to take a stand and I had to fight it. And with Elizabeth's course, this last year has been amazing. The changes that other people are noticing in me. Brittany, you seem softer. Brittany, you seem calmer. You seem much slower to react, and your responses are different. Are all things that friends and family have said to me in the last year who maybe didn't know about the course, or they knew about the course, but were waiting to see if it would be long lasting. And let me tell you, it has been long lasting. I'm finding peace, and I'm finding moments in my day to support myself, and moments in my evenings to give myself that space to be quiet and to have quiet and calm. And I wouldn't have had the courage or the accountability that Elizabeth offered me. I wouldn't have had that if I had not taken the course. And like I said once already, but I cannot state it enough, this course was so worth the investment to save my marriage, to save my relationships with my parents, with my siblings, with my children. Because if I did nothing, I would have no relationship with my daughters here before too long. They're still young enough to notice the changes and to see a different mom and experience a different mom. If I had done nothing in a couple years, I would have 3 15-year-olds and a 13-year-old who want nothing to do with mom, who know that mom is going to overreact, who know that maybe mom's not a safe place. And I want to be a safe place for my children. So, totally worth the investment. It has totally changed my life, my marriage, and my children and their future.
Hey, my name is Taylor, and I just finished Elizabeth's coaching program, The Calm Christian Mom, and I cannot recommend it enough. I am a stay-at-home mom with 2 littles. Haven is 2.5, and Clancy is 4.5. And I stay at home with them, and we also have a couple at-home businesses that my husband and I run. So I stay busy at home with the businesses and with my kids. And I listened to one of Elizabeth's podcasts months ago that was recommended to me from a friend. And it was in that podcast that I realized the way I was parenting my children was not what God wanted, and it was not the mom I wanted to be. And her words in her podcast really convicted me to find change, to do something about it. And so I booked a call with her for that next morning. And in that call, I was full of shame. I was embarrassed to talk about the way I was parenting my kids. I was embarrassed. I was yelling too much. I was full of guilt and shame and felt like I was a terrible mom. Didn't trust myself with my kids. I didn't trust myself at all, period. And so that call with her, I was very emotional and I was very vulnerable. And she just loved me where I was at. And I could tell she was genuine in her responses. And she just listened to me. And she made me feel like I was not alone and that there was hope. And so I joined her coaching program the next day. And honestly, within 3 days, I noticed change. With her keeping me accountable and checking in with me and asking how things are going and like wanting to know my real answers and like how I'm really doing. And then she was able to encourage me, to challenge me, to remind me of who I am in God's eyes. And within a couple of days, I was already seeing improvements in how I was talking to myself and how I was talking to my kids. And so I cannot encourage her program enough. I am a more confident mom. I am a calmer and patient mom. I still have a lot of work to do, but I would say I am tremendously more patient and calm than I was when I started this program. I see my kids in a different light. I see myself in a different light. I am choosing to be present with my kids instead of not wanting to hang out with them or be with them. I am now excited to spend time with them. And so the mom I am now is completely different than the mom I was 3 months ago. And I have Elizabeth to thank for that. So if you are on the fence about joining her program, I cannot recommend it enough. I want you to know that there is help out there for you and there is hope for you. You don't have to stay where you're at. I thought I did. I thought this is just how it was to be a mom with littles, running your own businesses, and I was overwhelmed and overstimulated, and I didn't know how to love my kids in that season and with all those things going on. And Elizabeth helped me realize I'm not alone and there is hope.
Hey, my name is Brandy. I am married. I have one son and one bonus son. They're both 10 years old. Before I joined Elizabeth's program, I was always a bitter, angry, a very controlling mom. My son would often say, "Nothing I do is ever good enough for you." I constantly found myself looking for what my husband and son did wrong, what they didn't do. Just a very negative person in general. And it carried over to my family, my house, our daily activities. And I got to a point where I was honestly afraid of losing my husband and therefore losing this positive male figure in my son's life and such a great person. And when that realization hit, I reached out to Elizabeth, and it was life-changing for me. I stayed in the work. I'm still doing the work. It's been a few weeks after I graduated her program, but I see such positive changes in my family. We are all so happy. We're not walking on eggshells anymore around each other. My son no longer says, "Nothing I do is good enough for you." He knows that I'm his safe person now. There's no little bitter arguments between us, my husband and I. So I'm so thankful for Elizabeth and all that she's done for me and my family. It is truly has been life-changing, and without her, I don't think I would have made these positive changes. I don't think I would have worked on myself and really got to the core of what was truly going on with me. And through her, through the coursework, through the program and talking to the other moms, I was really able to work on all those things, and it's been amazing. And I would hope that if anybody is listening to this and feels that this is them or they've been here before and they're really at rock bottom, just to make the next step and to book the consultation call, and you won't be disappointed.
Hey, this is Amber, and I want to share how life-giving Elizabeth's emotional wellness coaching program has been. I am homeschooling my son on the autism spectrum who is also adopted and has a lot of trauma responses to things, and I found myself getting more and more short-tempered with him and irritated, and I knew that that was not going to be beneficial for our relationship or for his education and just for his emotional wellness. And so her program has been so good and life-giving at a time where I needed encouragement, but also accountability. We all know that change doesn't really come without accountability. So I highly recommend her program. The tools that I've learned, the insights, the things that I've been putting into practice have helped me so much be the mom that I want to show up for as I continue to homeschool my son. Thank you, Elizabeth, and all the accountability and encouragement and prayers. It has meant so much.
Hi, my name is Abby, and I have 5 daughters, age 10, 5, 3, 3, and 1. The 3-year-olds are twins, yes. And I am home full time with my kids and homeschooling the oldest two. And in the spring of 2025, I found myself increasingly annoyed and frustrated and just waking up in a negative mindset about my season of life and my family and the challenges that were ahead of me. And often that annoyance would build to frustration and anger and rage by the end of the day. My husband works 12-hour shifts, and so he's gone. When he works, he's gone for pretty much the whole day. And that can be a pretty big challenge, being home with so many little kids on my own for so long. And as spring went on, more and more I found myself boiling over at bedtime into shouting and yelling and grabbing roughly and just taking control physically of situations that I didn't need to, and slamming doors and just ending the days not as the mother I want to be, not connected to my kids, not in kindness or gentleness. And of course, at the end of all that, I would end up in my room crying about how terrible I was and how I had done it again and how I was ruining my kids and I was a terrible mom and why did God give me all these kids and what was he thinking in doing that, and feeling like I was just really screwing them up. And eventually I found Elizabeth's podcast and it was really helpful, but I wasn't seeing lasting changes just trying to implement her advice on my own. And when I heard one of her guests talk about how if she hadn't made changes and invested in the program, she shuddered to think about like where her family would be in 5 years. And for me, my oldest was almost 10, 5 years from now, my oldest being 15. And thinking about traversing the teenage years with her in the same patterns that I had been experiencing was concerning, because I didn't think there would be a whole lot left between her and I by then, let alone the other 4 girls behind her. And so I knew I wanted to see growth and change. And so I started seriously considering investing in the coaching program. I took about a week to chew on it and decide whether or not I wanted to do it. And in the end, I decided to jump in and invest my time and energy and money in the program. And I am so grateful that I did. I do not walk around with that heavy sense of shame and weight and annoyance at my family. I am not questioning if I'm the right mom for my kids. I feel sure that I am, and I am grounded in my own emotional well-being. When I do get angry or frustrated, I know what to do. I have a broader sense of what's going on, and I can take steps to help myself and to repair with my kids and to connect with my friends and just do the things that I need. I'm so grateful to have gone through this program that is so holistic. It addresses like physical and practical things, emotional things, spiritual things, generational things. I just feel like Elizabeth's program has it all covered, and I'm so grateful that God has used her to guide me onto this path of healing, because I knew that there was a way out, but the realities of my life were such that I couldn't find that path on my own. And having Elizabeth there to walk with me every step of the way made all the difference. So if you're considering it, I think it's a very worthwhile investment, and Elizabeth does a great job.
Hi, I'm Katie. I'm a full-time working mom as a dietitian at a hospital. I've got 3 kids. My youngest is 11 months, my oldest is 5, and my middle child is 3. I'm married. We just celebrated 7 years. And I'm breastfeeding and doing everything that I can to support my family. My husband struggles with mental health issues, and we just found out he has some really bad back issues that has kept him from being able to support me. And he's been unemployed for a year now. So we've Suffered some financial hardship as well. It's been causing me to get out, running out of capacity and burning out and just feeling alone and feeling like I can't breathe at points. And I was taking out all of my anger and frustration. The circumstances just kept getting worse, but I couldn't change my circumstances. So I found a podcast, Don't Mom Alone, and Elizabeth was on it, and I heard her testimony and about her program, and I decided to take a leap of faith and enroll in it because I was finding myself, all the anger and resentment and frustration I had on my husband, I was taking it out on my kids, which didn't feel good as a mom because that wasn't the mom I wanted to be or God wanted me to be. I wanted to be more in line with who he created me to be for them. And I felt like I was crying myself to sleep and just wishing that like I was a better mom and praying about it and asking God, like, why did you give me these kids? They deserve so much better. And I talked to my husband and made the consultation call with Elizabeth. I felt like I was failing motherhood, but this program was so life-giving, worth every penny. I'm the mom I want to be, and I'm still improving. There's areas where I slip up, but it's not going every other day. It's going like months where I'm feeling that I catch myself when I'm getting triggered, that I can step away before it gets to rage. And my kids feel safe with me, and they're learning the skills that I've modeled to them on how I handle my own anger, and they're applying it to their own lives. And it's just so beautiful. And my husband's it's rubbed off on my husband that he has even applied some of the skills that I've learned on just being curious and not furious, because curiosity cannot coexist with anger. And that's my life-giving statement that I keep reminding myself when I'm communicating with my kids with compassion. And I'm so thankful and blessed for this program and getting the opportunity to work with Elizabeth.
Hi, my name is Rose, and I am a mom of 2 kiddos, 8 and 5. I'm married, and I work full-time as a teacher in elementary school. And I did the Calm Christian Mom coaching course this spring, and I'm so glad that I did. When I started the program, I was really struggling daily with frustration, anger, and even rage toward my children and family. And I was really feeling defeated and stuck and just kind of despairing of like what could possibly bring change. I heard about the program and listened to some of the podcasts, and God really convicted me that this is something that he could use as a tool for change. And I'm so glad that I did. It was a really powerful change to come out of shame and hiding and to be open and vulnerable with Elizabeth and with the weekly coaching calls, to just own my actions and also be refreshed and encouraged as a mom by truth, to shift my mindset from some really negative thinking to more true scriptural thoughts about my mothering. And I have been so grateful for the ways that I've been able to change how I show up as a mom. I am so much quicker to catch myself becoming frustrated, so I'm not even getting to rage. When I do have those angry moments, I can process them and learn from them. But there are a lot of just foundational pieces that are in place now that have really helped me to stay grounded emotionally when things are challenging. And I can truly say that I am a lighthearted mama in challenging moments, that I am warm and approachable to my whole family, and I am an emotionally grounded presence in my home. And that is a true gift that I can give to myself and my family as a result of this coaching program.
I'm Leah Williams, and I did the 12-week program with Elizabeth, the Calm Mom coaching. When I joined with Elizabeth, I was without hope. I just had a deep anger happening. Just being a stay-at-home, homeschooling mom, I got a little lost there for a minute, just getting wrapped up in my kids' behavior and just letting it affect me on a deep level. And I just wasn't able to find my way out. And so that's when I came across Elizabeth. And truly, she was an answer to prayer and a godsend, because she just gave me a new foundation to stand on and just helped me to get myself back on the tracks that I knew I needed to be on. So I am forever grateful. Just that short period of time has just completely turned around my mothering and just my outlook, everything. She really helped me fix some cracks in my foundation that were starting to form. So I am so grateful.
Hi, my name is Alexis, and I am a mom of 4, and I stay at home with the kids and work part-time for my husband's business. I decided to sign up for Elizabeth's course after my husband sitting me down and saying, whatever the cost, we need peace in this house. Just a lot of built up emotions and trauma and different things I had experienced were just coming to just a full blow of rage and flip outs and cursing and sometimes throwing things, just behaviors that were totally out of control and starting to affect my children, especially my oldest son. And so I Googled a Christian anger management course and just was really excited to sign up with Elizabeth, and noticed changes even after 3 weeks. And now that I'm 2/3 through the program, I'm learning new things every week, and my overall stress has been lowered. I'm slower to anger. I'm more intentional and confident in parenting and disciplining my children. And I know that with all these new things and tools that I'm learning every week, that these last 4 weeks are really going to help me build a sustainable change to be a better mother, honoring the Lord and teaching my children how to handle their emotions in a healthy, God-honoring way.
I want to read to you some more testimonials that are on my website by moms that finished my coaching program. This is Lindsay. She is a mom of 8, and she homeschools 2 of our kids. The other children are already grown and out of the house. And this is what she had to say. When I first started this program, I felt like I was never going to get over this hump of discouragement and overwhelm that I felt daily as a mom. I started noticing changes in my stress level within the first 2 weeks of coaching. My workload and circumstances had not changed, but I felt more calm. I knew that things were going to be okay. I was starting to have peace. I quickly implemented coping mechanisms for myself while learning the process to correct my behavior and mend our family relationships. Today, I am confident that I am the mom I was called to be. And then I wanted to share Laura's testimony. Laura is a single mom of 2 boys. She works full-time, and she came in my coaching program feeling really stressed out and burned out. And this is what she had to say. As a single mom of 2 young and very active boys, I found Elizabeth's program when I was deep in remorse and helplessness. She has helped me become aware of old patterns, and I can reset using calming techniques and mindset swaps. Now I can pause and wait instead of reacting. God has given me all I need in Him to be a godly mom and share an emotionally healthy legacy with these amazing boys. This program encouraged me, taught me, and helped me break down reactive and unhealthy reactions. Now I believe that although my upbringing did not model healthy emotional coping methods, I can do all things through Christ and the power that He offers me each moment in my parenting. I would highly recommend any mom who believes that this is too late or that the damage is already done, that you press in and join Calm Christian Mom coaching program. That was one of her biggest fears, is that she felt like the damage was already done with her kids, and that even though if she changes now, all that damage is already done. And that's something that we coach through, because God can redeem all of that. And you can influence your children in such a positive way moving forward. No, you cannot go back and change things, but you can change things moving forward. The next testimonial I want to read is from a homeschooling mom of 3. She prefers to stay anonymous, and she joined my coaching program because her husband was gone all the time because of his travel work schedule. And she was pretty much on her own parenting her kids. And this is what she said. Before starting the program, I was feeling stuck in the ways that I was parenting and not showing up as the mom I wanted to be. While I still have a lot of work to do in breaking negative patterns and thoughts, I now feel empowered knowing that I have the tools and the information to shift my thoughts and respond more positively. And then I want to finish off with reading you a testimonial by actually a male client. I had one dad last year that worked with me. His wife got to a point where she's like, you need to go get help. And she was able to find me through Google, and he booked a consultation call and we worked one-on-one. And this is his testimonial. His name is Caleb. He said, before starting the program, I felt hopeless in my anger and felt like a failure as a dad. I was getting overly angry with my kids a couple times each week, and was in a constant cycle of overreacting, fuming about it, and finally acknowledging my overreaction, and then apologizing to my spouse and kids. It was getting to the point where my apologies were meaning less and less each time. I knew that I needed to change, but simply did not have the tools to know how, despite trying my best each time. At its worst, right before starting the program, I had a sinking feeling in my heart that if my sinful outbursts continued at this frequency and intensity, it would lead to broken hearts, shattered lives, divorce, and a rejoicing enemy. After starting the program, I felt positive changes within a couple weeks. Those early lessons were foundational, and I still remind myself of them often. Elizabeth was understanding and encouraging throughout all the calls and had custom strategies and mindset shifts for each of my struggles. God, using Elizabeth, has grown me to become more rooted, tender, lighthearted, patient, gracious, and compassionate dad. I can genuinely look back at many of my responses to my children and be proud of how I handle things. There is still so much more room for growth, and I am now filled with hope for all that God will continue to do in me and my family. My friend, if you're thinking about joining Calm Christian Mom Coaching Program, but you are filled with shame and that is preventing you because you feel so embarrassed, first of all, there's other moms in the program. We get on group coaching calls. Everybody is dealing with the same thing. I promise you, you are not alone. That is a lie from the enemy. He wants you to stay stuck in this shame cycle. He does not want you to change. He wants your relationships to be ruined with your husband and your children and those close around you. Don't give that power to him. We all have our battles to fight. Everybody has a battle in their life that they need to fight. And maybe this one is yours. Maybe this is the battle that you are called to fight right now. If this is something that you're being called to, I want to invite you to join Calm Christian Mom Coaching Program. You have nothing to lose. The program is 100% money back guarantee. You show up, you do the work for 12 weeks, and if you don't see any positive changes, if you do not reach the goals that you set for yourself in the beginning of the coaching program, and you did the work, I will give you a full refund at week 12. You have nothing to lose. I have 3-month payment plans available, 6-month payment plans available, 12-month payment plans available. There is a way for you to do this. If there is a will, there is a way. Pray for God to provide a way for you to do this if He's nudging this on your heart. He will find a way. Stand up for yourself. Talk to your husband. Say, hey, this is important. This is what I need right now. I am so sick and tired of feeling this way, feeling stuck in anger and frustration and overwhelm and bitterness, and I want to change. There is hope for you, my friend. God can change your life. I cannot wait to connect with you. Book a free consultation call. The link is in the show notes. Let's talk and let's change your legacy. Mama, if you're listening to this and feeling the deep shame about what's happening behind closed doors, if you've become the mom you never thought you'd be, one who yells, explodes, and then hates herself for how she treats her kids, I want you to hear me. You are not alone, and there is hope. Do you want help overcoming destructive and damaging anger patterns? Enrollment for Calm Christian Mom Coaching Program is open right now. Click the link in the show notes to learn about Calm Christian Mom Coaching Program and book your free consultation call. You don't have to keep living this way. With the right support and God's grace, you can become the mom you have always wanted to be. Mama, your transformation and your peaceful home are waiting for you.